Said Ali, I would like you, if you don't mind, I'd like to give you the opportunity to take something back, if you don't mind. I don't know if you'd like to, but I'd suggest that you would. Because last time we spoke, you said something that I found very troubling, and I don't know if any Shi'i in their right mind would agree. And you said that you believe that two narrators in a single level is enough for a hadith to be considered mutawatir. Do you sincerely believe in that?
Okay,
And if
so
you don't, if you thought about it, and you'd like to take it back, please go ahead.
okay, sure. So firstly, I said okay. So firstly, I want to respond to a few things, right? In reference to why you declined the debate. Uh,
No.
I,
Said, I asked you a question. Please
I'm
answer my
going to
question.
respond. I'm going to respond, my brother. I'm going to respond.
No.
So
The
Respond to it
Leo
first.
Diva is acting up.
Respond to it first, please. Respond to it first.
okay, so firstly, you declined my offer based on the fact that you have a larger platform
Say
than
it.
me.
Say it. Say it.
So that's fine.
Please.
Okay. So in reference to mutawatir.
What happened to Sayyid?
Bring him
No
back.
one
Bring him
dropped
back.
him.
Let's
No
invite
one
him.
dropped him.
No one
No
jumped
one
Yeah,
him.
dropped him.
let's invite
Not
him
a
up. Let's
single
invite.
person dropped
Can I
him.
have
Not a
something?
Can you
Salam
guys
alaikum.
allow me to speak without interrupting me and kicking me
no,
off the
wait,
platform?
what if,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
subhanallah,
Go ahead.
wallah, this man is deceptive. Well, I swear by Allah, I've never touched
Go
you.
ahead.
And none of my brothers touched you. You're a kadhab.
Go ahead. La. عادي. Go ahead. Go ahead, Sayyid Ali.
Yeah, so for me, the whole thing about mutawatir hadith in itself, it's something subjective, right? And what I mean by
Yeah.
this, right? Let's just say, for example, a group of Christians were to narrate that Jesus died on a cross. Does that make it true? Not necessarily, right? So some ulama say it's necessary to investigate the chain, check the narrators. Other ulama don't have that opinion. They say it's not required. You accept it. So, 2, 3, 4, 7. Yeah, I have no issues. If one or more people narrate something, then yeah, why not? Why can it not be mutawatir when there's no agreement?
So you said, when I asked you, what's your personal opinion, you said that two is sufficient for a hadith to be considered mutawatir, right? Do you still hold that view?
So as I said to you before, the whole thing is subjective, right? Because even an
Yes,
isolated
yes, it is.
narration.
It is subjective. But I asked you directly. I said, "What's your opinion?" And you said two.
Yeah.
Are
So
you going to take that back?
no,
Are you
no.
going to take that back, or are you going to stick
As
with it?
as I said, I have no issue. If two or more people narrate something, then yeah, for me, it's something which is multiple.
Multiple attested is different than mutawatir. You are aware of that,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, of course, no doubt. And then obviously you have tawatur as well. But I don't get where you want to take it. Like even as I said to you, even if a hadith is mutawatir, doesn't mean that it's something true.
Okay, so this is an interesting new new definition to the term. So you are taking it back. You are saying that that wait. So wait. I'm trying to figure this out. You're saying that you will accept that a hadith of two narrators is mutawatir. However, even if it's mutawatir, it's not necessarily true. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, exactly. I don't believe just because a group of people narrate something, it's like, for example, do you accept Shia mutawatir narrations if the narrations are mutawatir?
If a hadith is mutawatir, it doesn't matter. It
Yeah,
doesn't matter who it's
yeah.
coming
So
from. If it's
no. Of
mutawatir, it's
course it matters.
mutawatir.
Of course it matters, my brother. Like if we have
It
certain
doesn't.
narrations, my brother. Let me explain something to you. If we have
Please.
narrations which are mutawatir, are you going to accept them? I don't accept your mutawatir narrations. How are you going to accept?
I would.
So,
Said Ali, it seems like
okay.
you don't get it.
So
It seems like you
you
don't
have
get it.
no so you don't have no issues accepting Shia mutawatir.
Yeah, but the thing is, what I'm saying is there is no such
So
thing as a
so
Shi'i mutawatir
so
hadith.
my brother, listen. So let me explain to you.
Yeah,
So if we have a mutawatir narrations where essentially the shaykhain are condemned and lana
yeah,
and sabr is done on them, you would accept
yeah,
that.
yep, yep. I would.
You would honestly.
Okay, but,
So,
but
but this goes against your ideology, my brother. How
no,
would
no,
you
no.
accept?
Because you don't get it. Because you don't get it. So you're saying a report from Ja'far al-Sadiq that's mutawatir, in which he's cursing the Shaykhain. Would I accept that Ja'far al-Sadiq said this? That's the question, right?
Yeah, so of course, yeah. I mean, would you? I mean, if there's something which is just say something is mutawatir based in our books, right? That
Yeah,
opposes your
yeah,
ideology or your belief.
yeah.
You're not going to accept it.
I would say that. Let me explain. But the thing is, you don't understand what mutawatir is. That's the issue. A mutawatir hadith is a hadith in which the number is so high, the number of narrators is so high, it's impossible for this to be a
They agreed
lie.
upon a
It
lie.
wouldn't
I know
matter.
this. I know this, brother. This is not something which
Eh,
I do understand that
so
totally, right?
it wouldn't matter if it was narrated by Yahud, by Christians, by Buddhists. It wouldn't matter. That's the whole idea. As long as it's impossible for them to be lying. You get me?
Absolutely.
Is that
So,
clear?
absolutely.
Okay.
So, as an
So
example for you, right? I
when
gave
we
you an
spoke
example
about
earlier. I gave you an example
so
earlier.
the thing is, go ahead, go ahead.
So I gave you an example earlier. I said some scholars say it's required to investigate the chain, right? Some ulama say
Yeah.
it's not necessary to investigate the chain. So these are the two different
أيوة.
opinions, right? So you've
أيوة.
obviously just said. So you've just said here right now that it's not necessary to investigate chain. It can be from a Buddhist or whoever the person is, right?
Here's the
Correct?
thing, Sayyid Ali.
Correct?
Focus on what I'm saying. Focus on what I'm saying.
No, no. I
If
want you to
there
pay
are so
attention to
many
what you're saying
people,
and what I'm trying to explain. So you're
if there
saying
are
that you
so
can
many
accept,
people, if there
yeah,
are
who
so
can
many
agree,
people, let
who
me finish,
witness an
brother.
event and agree upon it,
Let-
it makes it true. Correct?
yes. If
Yeah.
there are too
So
many people that it's impossible, if there are too many people that it's impossible for it to be a lie, then
yeah.
we have to believe that this thing occurred, right?
Okay. Sure.
So
Sure.
that's the basic thing. Okay.
Okay.
Now, in regards to Shiaism, the
Can I
reason
just
why
make a few
this,
points? Can I just make a few points on that? Right. I understand your perspective. You're saying that look, if there's a group of people who witness something, right, it would be impossible to kind of rule out the possibility that that event occurred. I don't deny this, right? But then there's other things that can come into play as well, right? Like for example, um, let's just say you have a narration where 3, 4 companions narrate an event. Now, if I have issues with the companions in terms of I don't believe them as being reliable, then for me it doesn't matter how many people mass transmit it after them. It is for me it's worthless.
yeah, so what you're saying is because it's possible that all four of them came together and they lied about this, right?
Yeah,
Is that what you're
exactly,
saying?
exactly, exactly.
Okay. Okay. So then four people wouldn't be sufficient for you. For you, Sayyid Ali, four is not sufficient for tawatur.
For
So
me,
the question is,
one person is sufficient.
one person is mutawatir?
No, I said for me, one person narrating something is sufficient. If it's one or more, even
Yeah. Yeah, so the question is for you, how many narrators do we need to have in a specific level for the hadith to be mutawatir? Last time you said two. Are you going to take that back?
no, no. So according to my opinion, for me, as I said,
Yeah.
it's a subjective thing. So for me, 2 or more, no problem. But again, we have to look at the chain. We have to look at who the person is narrating it. Is there a context? Does it conflict other narrations? So these are all things that I believe that need to be taken.
Okay, so two is mutawatir, as long as it doesn't conflict with another reports, for example.
Yeah, exactly. So if it doesn't contradict with other narrations and what the particular individual said in other reports as well, because it could well be the person said something under duress, right? Or they
Is
may
it
say
is it
something and then
possible
later they say something else contrary to that. So yeah,
is it possible for there to be conflicting mutawatir reports?
I would have to check that, to be honest with you. I can't say for certain. For example, there is an opinion, right, where some ulama believe that Bukhari himself only collected those narrations which were considered as mutawatir, right? But we know within Bukhari there are certain narrations that go
Let
against
me give
each
you an
other.
example. Let me give you an example. So, for example, the sun. What time is Maghrib in Shiaism? According to your standards that you've mentioned right now, the disk of the sun disappearing. That's mutawatir. The disk of the sun disappearing is Maghrib, according to some reports, and it's mutawatir because it's been narrated by two people. And then you have the other reports that say that as long as the eastern sky is no longer red, the that is the time of Maghrib, and that is also mutawatir. How do
Yeah,
you deal with this? Because
exactly. Beautiful. How you are.
I've
This is a
never come
beautiful question.
across.
So for me, it's
Please
not
go ahead.
sure. So for me, this is a fiqh related matter, right? So I do believe that there is some sort of um, leeway given when it comes to fiqh related reports. But alhamdulillah, one
Okay.
beauty about Shiism is that we have a general rule, and that is that we basically do opposite to whatever you guys pretty much say. So yeah,
Right.
so if you guys do that, one thing we tend to do the opposite. As you should be aware
Yeah.
of this, we
So,
have
so we
narrations of
say worship Allah alone, you do
sure.
the opposite, yeah?
No, we don't have the same belief as Allah, right? And Farid, again, if you want to debate that, I have no issues. We can have a debate on whether you believe
Yeah.
in a different concept of God and whether
So
we what concept of God.
Said Ali, do you agree that it's mutawatir that the imams denied being imams?
Sorry, say that again.
Do you agree that it's mutawatir that the imams denied being imams?
Yeah, so here we have two groups of narrations. We have one group of narrations rejecting the imama as an example, right? I'm not saying there's such
Yes.
traditions exist, or even if they do, hypothetically, let's just say we have a group of narrations that the imams have denied.
Authentic.
They
Authentic, of
denied
course.
they
Your
denied
books.
the imama, right? And we have other reports suggesting otherwise from another group of their
Yes.
companions. So we
Yes.
look at the position of Sunnis. Sunnis don't consider them imams as how we consider them imams. So we believe the opposite.
Okay. I'm perfectly fine with that. That's an interesting answer. I would like to point out that yes, there are clear, authentic reports in Al-Kafi in which the Imam is being asked if he's an Imam and he's outright denying it. Of course, according to your criteria, it's a mutawatir hadith because we have more than one hadith that does say this. The question is, how are Sunnis blameworthy for rejecting the Imams and the Imam of the Imams
Sure, sure.
if it's mutawatir
See,
from the Imams that they rejected the
See, the
Imams?
thing is, look, this in itself, as you're aware, right? I say this matter is subjective because even forget imam. Obviously, with the imam itself, you have different aspects of imam which require discussion, and each area requires a separate discussion. But as a hypothetical situation, right? Let's just say that you have, for example, I don't know, mass transmitted reports that Abu Bakr and Umar, or just say the case Abu Bakr was appointed as
Said Ali,
leader.
please deal with the question. Please deal with the question. It's a direct
Yeah,
question.
I'm dealing with your question. I'm actually dealing
How
with your
are
question.
how
So
are
what I'm
Sunnis blameworthy?
so I'll explain to you. I'll explain to you.
Please, I'll be very brief.
Farid,
Without
I'm going
giving
to
like a
respond. Let me respond
without
so you
giving
can
a lengthy
understand what I'm trying to
example.
say, right? So,
Okay,
for
okay.
example, Sunni ulama, right? They've given fatwas that anyone who denies the Caliph of Abu Bakr, as an example, they consider disbelievers.
It's irrelevant.
Now,
It's irrelevant, Said
no,
Ali.
no,
It's irrelevant.
I'll explain to you why it's relevant. If you allow me to explain to you, then it'll make sense to you, right? So you'll be able to relate to your answer to that will also be the same answer to mine. So now,
Said
obviously, if
Ali,
you ask, so
with all due
let me
respect,
respond, my brother. Let me
with all
respond.
due, with,
So,
with all due
let,
respect
brother, let
to
me
the
respond.
audience,
Let
Akhi,
me respond. Let me respond, and then
give
it'll
me
make sense to you.
5 seconds.
So
5 seconds.
you've
Five
asked.
seconds.
So you asked the question.
Baya, just chill, relax. No one muted
Five
you, by the
seconds.
way. Stop muting yourself.
No,
Nice try again.
I mute myself to allow Free to make his point, and then I can respond.
Perfect,
Very
mashallah.
briefly, say that the thing is, the audience isn't dumb, right? And you can provide a direct answer without saying, "Oh, but you know, in Sunnism you have this." I ask you a very simple, direct question, which is, how are Sunnis
Yeah, some
blameworthy
responses are
for
not direct,
rejecting
my
a
brother. They
mutawatir,
require
for
explanation.
rejecting, for rejecting a mutawatir matter, which is, according to you, the Imams denied being Imams. This
Frida,
is
I understand you.
mutawatir.
Frida, listen,
Okay,
you
please,
don't need to be so
please go ahead. Please go ahead.
condescending, my brother. I understand your question, right?
Please
So
go
now
ahead. Please
here's
go
the
ahead.
thing, right? So Sunni ulama themselves have said anyone who denies or rejects the Caliph of Abu Bakr, hypothetically, they consider them as disbelievers. And in some cases, they even consider their blood as being halal, right? Now, if you ask somebody learned like yourself, why is this the case? Why have certain Sunni ulama done this or said this? The reason why they've said this is because they said, look, based on the principle that Abu Bakr's caliphate was based on ijma, which, by the way, that's not true, but we can have a debate on that separate time. It's based on that principle, right? Now, here's the question. Does that mean now that as a Shia, somebody who doesn't accept Abu Bakr's caliphate, would that mean that they're disbelievers, or that they're kafir, or that their blood is halal? Obviously not, because you'd say, look, it's circumstantial. It depends how much knowledge the Shia has, etc. So it's exactly the same case with the imama. We can't say that just because somebody rejects the caliphate the leadership or the imamah of the imams of the Ahlul Bayt Islam, and makes them disbelievers. No, this is wrong. You can be a Muslim. The minimum requirement of Islam is the Shahada. Once you enter into Islam, there's Islam and Iman. You should know this. The verses of the Quran are clear about this. When Imam Ali Islam fought in Safin, what did he say? He said, these are the people, they accepted Islam, but the Iman is not entered into their hearts. So, yes, there's no problem. You can be a Muslim, and you could be a Muslim like Abdullah ibn Ubay, the chief of hypocrites. No problem. No issues at all.
All right, Sayyid Ali. I don't think that this was a sufficient answer because
That's fine. You don't have to find
provided.
it sufficient. It's
But
okay.
Bayat, we'll let you finish.
Now, the reason why it's an insufficient opinion, because it's an insufficient answer, because you've provided the statements or the opinions of some ulama. I don't know who those ulama are. I don't know their justification for
So
this.
you've also mentioned the opinion of some ulama. There's no consensus on this with 12 minutes. As you should be aware, my brother. You should
But
you acting
the
as if you're not
idea
familiar.
that a person is blamed. Hello?
We can hear you.
Can you guys?
I can hear you.
Let me just
I can hear you.
leave the room and come back because I can't hear you guys.
Can I make a quick comment, advice to Bayat, actually? What you've done, you've committed a two concrete fallacies. So inshallah, please don't just say, oh, it's a Sunni books, so I'm going to answer the question, whether you like my answer or not. I'm going to leave it
Uzair,
at that.
listen, please don't give that straw man.
Let's not
Let me
not
carry on.
divert. I
Listen,
don't want to be
brother
diverted.
Farid. Listen, brother Farid. Right?
Let me carry on. Let me carry on.
Baya, صبر.
Guys,
let me finish. Listen,
Bro, we let you
I
finish.
want to.
No. We let you finish.
Let me respond to
Okay,
Uzair.
Saifullah, firstly, please get my name right. Secondly, Farid is gonna
Saifullah,
go.
Saiful, whatever, Saiful, whatever you want.
Subhanallah, this is so vile. But I'm not gonna go down to the pigs level. Anyway, Farid, go
I
ahead.
just find it ironic you asking me to
chill.
cite evidences on top of my head when brother Farid is not even doing the same thing. So what are you
I can
talking
do
about?
it. I can do it. If you'd like me to, I can do it. I don't mind.
Habibi, listen,
So
I'm not
let
sitting
me.
behind my brother. I'm not sitting behind a computer that I can start quoting you what book and what page number, etc. Right?
then
A lot of what I say
ما
it's
في
in the top of my
مشكلة
head, and I say
ما في مشكلة ما في مشكلة ما في مشكلة. Let me finish my point. The thing is, Sayyid Ali,
how can you, brother?
the
How can
reason why
you
it's so
mock
difficult.
Yeah,
this anyway?
can you please? You have Tourette's or something? Just chill, mate. Like, just
I'm not
let.
going to take long. Sayyid Ali, I'm not going to take long. It's a simple response. Okay.
Yeah, chill, man.
These opinions, Sayyid Ali, you know it's not you know that there's no ijma on this. You know that
Farid,
it's not the opinions of
Farid, my brother,
The Tourette's
Farid.
are acting up again. Chill. Calm down.
Let me speak
I'll
to
be
Farid,
brief.
let
go
me
ahead.
speak to brother Farid. Yeah, let me speak to brother
Yeah,
Farid.
I'll be brief. Sayyid Ali, I'll
So
be brief. I'll be brief,
Farid,
bro.
the
I'll be
thing
brief.
is, look,
Sayyid, let me be brief.
Farid,
Let me respond.
brother, Farid,
I let you
chill.
speak for a while, man.
Stop
I
being
let
a
you speak for
diva.
a while.
You asked
Yeah,
a
I know.
question, my bro.
Okay, Farid, let me a
Sayyid,
second. Farid, stop being a little diva, man. Like, please.
I'll take my question back. I'll take my question back. I want to respond to what you said. All right. I'm going to keep it brief, inshallah. The reason why it's not the same, okay, is because if we assume that there are some scholars that said that Shias are kuffar for rejecting Abu Bakr and Umar, the reason why it's so different than Tashayyu' is because in Tashayyu' this is a part of the deen. You have the imams saying that rejecting one imam is rejecting like all the imams. Those that do not know the imam of their times dies a death of jahiliyyah, and this is a death of jahiliyyah of kufr and nifaq and whatnot. A person who rejects the imama is someone that is going to go to hell. All right, and the thing is, the problem with this is that I'm asking, how is this binding? How
brother,
is this? How are we blameworthy? How are we blameworthy
brother,
when,
allow
according
me
to
to
you,
respond now, right?
let me finish. Let me finish. All right. And by the way, these reports of Ahl Sunnah going to hellfire and for rejecting the Imam, this is mutawatir according to your standards, yeah? Because as you said, two narrators are enough. And yet, we're blameworthy, and it's blameworthy for not knowing the Imams, even though the Imams, according to Tawatur, according to Tawatur, let me finish. According to Tawatur, they rejected being Imams. This is according to you, according to your standards. Now you can respond, brother.
Okay, brother. Look, there's a few points here, right? Firstly, you're saying that this is not a general opinion amongst Sunni ulama, right? Absolutely, I agree with you. It's not the general opinion amongst Sunni ulama, right? However, you have your leading imams of your school, right? So, like for example, Imam Abu Hanifa, he had this opinion, right? Essentially about those who deny the Caliphate of Abu Bakr and Umar. You had other imams of Al Sunnah wal Jama'ah as well. In fact, we know that denying the Caliphate essentially would lead to, killing, because you have narrations on this. If you give bayat to two imams, kill the later one. This is probably one of the reasons why they killed Sa'd ibn Ubadah and Saqif ibn Usaidah. But again, this is something which we have to look at. We have to
Yeah,
see
you're,
at
you're
what point he died,
diverting.
because it's
You're diverting from the topic.
no, no.
The
I'm gonna
question
I'm
was
gonna get
about
to,
the
bro. You're
question
gonna
was about
keep
the
interrupting me, like.
blameworthiness. It's about the
This is
blameworthiness.
why
I'm
this is
interrupting
why
because you're
I
going off topic,
suggested,
man.
Farid, this is why I
So,
suggested let's have
Said
a
Ali,
time
Said Ali,
discussion, a time
this is the
debate,
issue.
one
The
topic,
issue
but
is
you're not going to accept. You're willing to have a
you're
discussion on
diverting,
this
man.
clubhouse, but
You're
you don't need to
diverting.
debate me. I don't.
Well, man, Said Ali,
Habibi, listen, not
please don't
all
divert.
Shia ulama,
I asked you
brother,
a direct
listen,
question.
not all,
I asked you.
listen, not all Shia, listen, not all Shia ulama held this opinion. You do know this,
Doesn't
right?
matter.
I mean,
The
for
Imam
example,
said it.
Ayatollah,
The
I,
Imam said it.
let me finish.
The Imam said
Let
it.
me finish. Let me finish. Ayatollah Mutahari wrote a book called Islam and Pluralism, right, which is available online. You can Google it. And he actually goes through the different groups. It's no requirement for you to be even a Muslim to enter to Jannah.
Is he an
And you're
Imam?
talking about those who deny
Is
the
he an infallible
Imams.
Imam? Is he
Habibi,
an infallible
as I
Imam?
it doesn't matter, brother. You believe in the concept of Dalta Sahaba. You believe all the Sahaba upright and truthful people, right? So even then you reject the statements of the Sahaba when it picks it when it fits you guys. But as I said, look,
Is he
each
infallible?
person's
Is Mutahhar an infallible
situation
Imam?
is different. Habibi, each person's situation is different, right? Just like, for example, your Sunni ulama, they do takfir on the Shia ulama. They say, look, when it comes to the Shia layman, we don't do takfir on them, right? But when it comes to ulama, we do takfir on them, right? So why is this?
Said
Why do
Ali,
you guys do takfir?
I've asked you a direct question about the blameworthiness. Okay,
If
please deal with
somebody's,
that
if
instead of
somebody's,
diverting. Instead of diverting.
Habibi, our narrations talk about different groups of people, right? People who, the simpletons, they're not held accountable in this manner, right? Just as
Okay,
like your
my
scholars, they
response, my
belong to different.
response, my response to that is it's mutawatir according to your standards that every man that goes to the souk and can buy and sell, then he's blameworthy and he's not a simpleton. How do you deal with that? It's mutawatir.
Say, okay, no, no. So that narration is mutawatir. What's mutawatir? Did you say?
Mutawatir is two chains according to you.
Yeah,
Remember?
yeah. Okay, so which two people narrated what exactly? Can you tell me? And what's the source and who authenticated this report?
Oh, sure. Give me a second.
No problem. And in the meantime, what was the report you mentioned? Farid, are you there?
It's just getting the hadith,
Oh,
so
no problem. That's
sabr,
fine.
sabr, inshallah.
Yeah, okay, Sayyid Ali, there's a bunch of reports. You can check out Kitab Ma'an al-Akhbar by Saduq, and you
Okay,
can find multiple
so
reports that
sorry.
say that people that have the ability to buy and sell are no longer mustad'af. People that are like handicapped and whatnot, that's a person that's mustad'af. Folks that are like
You
children, the minds of children, the minds of women, that's mustad'af. As for those that don't have those minds, those are not mustad'af. These reports can be found through, let's see, um, okay, here's another one. Those that know of the differences of the people, that's someone that's not mustad'af. Um, it's about 3 pages of
my
reports from
brother,
multiple.
my brother, you quoting Sheikh Saduq, but you don't even know that Sheikh Saduq had an entire chapter on this in Man La Yazr al-Faqih about saying that ignorant ones claim that anyone who denies the imama is a disbeliever. Habibi, and you quoting whose book now?
Ma'an al-Akhbar,
Yeah, you quoting, and who's that by?
Saduq.
Yeah, there you go. And Sheikh Saduq has an entire chapter. My brother, listen, as I said, I'm having these conversations literally on top of my
No,
head. I
repeat
don't have
that.
access to nothing at the moment. I can't
Repeat what
check
you said.
anything.
Repeat what you
I'm
said. Repeat
saying,
what you said. Yeah, repeat what
I
you
said,
said.
look, which point?
What's in من الأحضار الفقيه? What's there?
Yeah, there's a chapter on this about the ignorant ones claiming that those who. Look, let me see if I can find it. Apologies, because I'm on my phone, so it's difficult for me
Okay.
to. Just give me a second. Let me
So,
see if I can.
You can take your
so
time.
the reason why I'm quoting these reports, and I don't know what Sayyid Ali has in من الأحضار الفقيه, but what I'm saying is you have these reports that are mutawatir that say that it's that a mustadaf. What Sayyid Ali is talking about is the concept of mustadaf. A mustadaf is someone who doesn't have the ability to make judgment, right? He's someone that doesn't have the the mental capacity to judge. And these people are not going to go to hell. What I'm saying and what I'm quoting to Sayyid Ali are reports that say that any, uh, like the average adult, right? The average adult, the one that has the ability to go to the souk and to buy and to sell, there's no way that this person is a mustad'af. The concept of mustad'af is someone who has like a mental handicap or someone that thinks like a child. Yeah, and it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 reports in this chapter with the same general meaning, of course, from different narrators.
I think Baya is when looking.
No, no,
Always back.
yeah, I'm just looking for the source. So just be.
No worries.
In the meantime, I just want to make some points as well, right? So, I mean, some of our even our
Please bring this
contemporary.
point. Please bring this point for a second. We have patience. We're fine.
Yeah,
We
but
can
yeah,
wait.
we got plenty of time, Masha. I think.
Habibi, this
I'll
is why I
take off.
suggested having a debate. We could debate this topic as well.
There's no,
Bring it up,
we
man.
can have
Bring
a
it up.
dialogue, a
Bring it up.
fruitful, like
You
nice
said you're gonna
dialogue.
bring it up the source. You have your phone with you. We're waiting. It's fine.
Yeah, like I think we can have a nice little team biscuit discussion, around the table. Uh, no, no, I hate, Farid, I've always hated debates because it's just like someone talks for like 20 minutes and then another person talks for 20 minutes. There's no real dialogue. It's just people talking across each other and whatnot. I actually much prefer dialogues and discussions where we can go back and forth as long as it's respectful. I think it's not only fruitful for the two people but also for the audience. Where I feel like with a dialogue or with a debate, people don't really get put their points across properly. By the way, I'm being DM'd by
Okay,
who's
so I'll
saying
give you the
sorry.
source right now.
Is that
So
right? If I could just say this, sorry, apologies. I'm just because I'm being told to say this by Shia downstairs. He said what Bayat al-Qadiyah said about Mutawatir Hadith is wrong in Shia views. No Shia scholar says this. Can you please say this to the
yeah,
audience?
that's yeah, sure. So that was not the opinion of. I wasn't stating the opinion of scholars. This was my own personal opinion that the brother asked. Just to clarify.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I
So
do have to
I know
agree.
the opinion of ulama. They vary themselves, and even Sunni ulama they vary. So you quoted
I,
which book did you mention, my brother?
Ma'an al-Akhbar.
Okay, good.
I'd like
Okay,
to
okay.
point something out. I'd
Can,
like to
can I
point something out.
Okay, before you point something out, there's a chapter
Yeah.
in Man La Yazir al-Faqih, volume number 3, page numbers 267. And the chapter
Yeah.
heading, the actual chapter heading is called, and the Jahil
Yeah.
people are under the delusion that every mukhalif, basically every non-Shia is a Nasbi, but it's not
Yeah.
like it. So if you
Yep.
go now to Sheikh Saduq's Man La Yazal al-Faqih, because you claim that anyone who's a mukhalif essentially is someone who's not a 12er, is not
No,
basically is not it's basically not a Muslim, but it's not like that. Not every
I never
mukhalif is
said
that.
that. I never said that. Mustadaf is Mustadaf is an exception. I agree that Mustadaf is an exception. As an exception,
Okay,
I have no issues with that.
let me read the statements of our ulama now, because you've brought up the ulama, so I think it's necessary that I bring up the statement of
I
ulama.
brought up the imams. I'd like to deal
Shaheed
with the imams.
Shaheed 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 Al Thani, he says, be aware that a group among the scholars ruled that non-Shias to be kuffar, no issue, whilst most of the scholars ruled them to be Muslims. So if they, i.e., the former group, intend by that to declare the non-Shias to be kuffar in reality, but not in the zahir, i.e., the apparent, then it appears that the difference is merely an issue of differing terminologies, as the proponents of the non-Shias being Muslims imply what we've mentioned regarding the correctness of applying the laws of Muslims upon the non-Shias in zahir, although they are not true believers in our eyes. Thus, they have quoted an ijma, a consensus, upon the non-Shias as being people of misguidance and in hellfire. But if they mean to say that non-Shias are kuffar in reality as well as in the zahir, then this is wrong. There is no evidence for that. In fact, there is evidence upon the non-Shias being Muslims in the zahir, as per the hadith of Imam Ali alayhi salam, who said, I have been ordered to fight the people until they say there is no God but Allah. And this is from the book Haqq al-Iman, page number 132 to 134. That's the statement of Shaheed al-Thani.
Farid, you're talking on me if you are, akhi.
Oh, yeah. So, I mean, as I
Right.
mentioned, contemporary
Excuse me.
scholars, Sheikh Muhammad
Excuse me.
Rida al-Ansari. Let
Excuse
me
me.
let me let
Excuse
me
me.
finish,
Well,
brother. Brother, let
No,
me
no,
say
no.
this. Let me
You
let
made
me
you
make
Daddy,
this
made one
point.
you made
Daddy.
one point, akhi. Just
No,
sabr.
no, Habibi. No, no.
Bayat,
Let me make this
No, no, no.
let me make this final
Daddy.
point. My
This is not
brother,
Bayat,
monologue.
let
This
me
is
make
not
this final
monologue
point.
time, Yahi.
Let me make the final
Bayat.
point. So let
Yeah,
me make this
yeah, Rab.
final point. This book is called Takfir in the Light of the Shia Doctrine. Takfir in the Light of the Shia Doctrine. This book's available online. Page number 13 to 14. And in the book, it lists about several opinions. And it says, number one, the Imami Shia do not do takfir upon anyone from among the Muslims. Number one. Number two, the Imami Shia believe that whoever bears witness with the Shahadatain is upon Islam. Number two. Number three, the Imami Shia believe that all of Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah, irrespective of whether you believe in the Zeus-like God or whatever, is upon Islam by all the scholars of jurisprudence and theology. Number four, the Imami Shia believe that all the opponents except the Nawasib are Muslims, even if they differ with them on usul or furu. Number five, the word kuffar, which has been mentioned in the regards in some Shia traditions or Shia books, refers to the kufr which is opposite to iman, that does not outcast people from the frame of Islam. It's not kufr, which is the opposite of Islam. Number six, the Imam Shia believe in absolute terms that the blood of Muslims is protected, as well as their women and their wealth. And Shia believe in the purity of their bodies and in the slaughter of their meat, as well as marrying them and giving them inheritance. Number seven, the Imam Shia believe on the statement of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Supreme, um, and the verse of the Quran, Surah 5:8, and it says, and it's obligatory to not retaliate takfir of Shia by some of Ahl Sunnah by doing takfir. It's rather obligatory to abide by the religious rules and regulations in interactions with the opponents, even if they do not abide by that. The Imam Shia believe that's wajib to defend the general body of Muslims, the Sunnis and Shias, and defend their land and countries, their blood, the women, and their wealth. These facts are the belief of the Imami Shias, and the jurisprudential, theological, and hadith books are a witness to this. And the Shias explicitly preach this without any fear or taqiyya. And it's possible for these conclusions to become an Islamic and humanitarian resolution by which blood of Muslims could be protected in all countries. And this book of ours, meaning the Takfir in Light of Shia Doctrine, this book of ours aims to disclose the curtain from the face of these facts and present it in detail and corroborated by reports and narrations Usuli jurisprudential reasoning. It is compilation of lectures of the religious authority, i.e. Sheikh Wahid Khurasani, who is considered one of the most significant Shia's jurisprudence at this present age, and is the statements represent the opinion of the Shia and the belief. And as I said to you, brother, on that note, if you want to debate this, I have no issues. We can have a
Let me
time discussion.
respond.
We'll
Let me
go through our
respond.
narrations,
Let me
and then
respond.
otherwise, because you
Baya,
do straw man.
can you stop with your monologue now? Thank you, and let Brother Farid respond. Thank you. Go on, Farid.
Yo, sorry. Let me. Can you guys hear me fine?
Yeah,
Yes, Farid.
okay, you're fine. Please respond to my point about Sheikh Sudu, because you said that the simpletons.
1 second, Baya. Your time is up now. It's Farid's time. So, Farid, go ahead, Akhi.
Hello. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, Akhi, we can hear you.
Yes.
Sorry about that.
No.
Okay, so Sayyid Ali, the issue with this is that it has nothing to do with what I mentioned. You're bringing up the issue of takfir specifically. I'm saying I'm blameworthy as a Sunni, all right, as a Sunni for rejecting the Imam, and I'm going to go to hellfire. طيب, I'm not a kafir in this dunya, all right? So, alhamdulillah, I'm happy to not be a kafir according to Shiism in this dunya. However, I'm still going to go to hell forever because I denied the imama of your imams. And these quotes by your scholars are all about the kufr of a Sunni in this life, yes or no. And you've provided evidence that a Sunni is not a kafir in this dunya. Great, alhamdulillah. Unfortunately, we're all going to go to hell forever. That's the problem. So, and to be honest, I don't even know why you're quoting ulama, because I've provided to you the statements of your imams, and according to you, these statements are mutawatir. And these statements, the imams are saying that they are rejecting, the imams are rejecting being imams. How am I to be blamed for accepting these statements? How am I going to be asked on the day of judgment, Farid, why did you reject this imam and that imam? I'll say, because it's mutawatir. Because it's mutawatir that they rejected being imams. I hope my point is clear. I hope you can see
Yeah, so I think
the situation.
you've ignored I think you totally ignored what I've mentioned. The statements of the ulama are based on textual evidence that have reached us from Quran and Hadith. What I read to you, there's at least 9 points. We practically implement that in our day-to-day lives. So
Name one point. Name one point.
Habibi, we marry your women. We eat your meat. What?
So we're still going to hell. We're still going to hell forever.
Habibi, listen. Let me finish. Let me finish.
Kafir in the afterlife, Muslim in the dunya.
Habibi, listen.
Alhamdulillah.
So, Habibi, listen. As I explained to you before, right? Each person's situation and circumstance is different. Okay.
Yeah, I refuted
To
that.
apply this.
I've refuted that.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't.
Yeah,
You
we spoke
quoted
about this.
Habibi. You quoted you quoted the statement of Sheikh Snook from one of his books. But I gave you an entire chapter heading. He's calling those people ignorant who claim that every non-Shia is a mukhalif, right? So this is not the case.
And I agree with that. I agree with that. There's no issues with that.
Okay, that's fine. Alhamdulillah. So we're in agreement. Your issue is essentially somebody who's sent to hell for merely rejecting the walaya of Imam Ali alayhi salam.
No, for any of the imams. For any of the imams. If I reject the Til Jawad, who became an imam at the age of 8, then I'm going to go to hell forever. If I reject that the Mahdi, the 12th imam, exists, then I'm going to go to hell forever.
Okay, so
and if
now
I reject, most importantly, if I reject that Al-Baqir is an imam, even though he has said, I am not an imam, according to your reports, then I'm going to go to hell forever.
So
how am I blameworthy?
Habibi, let me respond. You're giving a position. You're giving a one-sided position within Shias or a particular narrative that wants to suit you. I've just told you earlier that your own scholars, some of your own scholars,
irrelevant, man. Irrelevant. We're speaking about scholar versus scholar. Don't give me scholar versus scholar. What did your imam say? I'm quoting to you the Ma'soom.
Listen to me.
The Ma'soom is saying this.
Okay, so what did the Prophet say about one who dies without knowing the imam of the time? He dies a death of what?
Jahiliyyah. Aywa?
Jahiliyyah, Habibi, yes. Okay, now you can turn around and say, well, in the times of Let me make my point. Let me make my point. Yeah.
First of all, it's not.
Let,
It's not imam.
let me make my point.
First of all,
Let
it's
me
not
make my
imam.
point.
Let me correct the wording for you.
Anyone.
Let me correct
Okay.
the wording for you. Let me correct the wording for you. It's not whoever does not give bay'ah to the imam. It's not about that.
Amir.
La, it's not even amir. It says who dies that doesn't have a bay'ah upon his neck dies the death of jahiliyyah. Because in the time of jahiliyyah, it was just a state of lawlessness where everyone
Yeah,
was just
because
running
apparently,
around.
according to your understanding, in the times of Jahiliyyah, people never used to have leaders.
طيب
But
طيب ما في مشكلة ما في مشكلة.
irrespective, the Bayat of Abu Bakr, according to you, was it based on ijma?
Irrelevant.
It's relevant
Irrelevant
because
to the
the thing
subject.
is, you don't want to take this conversation where I want it
No,
to. So you're
no,
playing,
Said Ali. Said
you're
Ali,
going.
because I asked you a direct question.
So can you be a Muslim?
As the
Can you
brother
be a
said,
Muslim? Can you be a Muslim if you
yeah.
reject the ijma of the Caliph of Abu Bakr?
Can you? This guy literally, he thinks shouting is the way to win like a discussion.
I'm
Chill,
not
mate.
shouting. I'm
Like,
not shouting.
relax,
I've got
relax, relax.
loudspeakers. I can assure you, I'm not.
Over talking people and being condescending is not the way to have a dialogue. Like, we are
Habibi,
trying
how
so
can
hard
you
to have
tell
a.
me about what's condescending and stuff when we got
You're not my
entire surah
Habibi.
revealed about Abu
Relax
Bakr?
yourself. Look at this. He's always insulting. Farid, Akhi, please go ahead.
As the brother said, yani, this issue of, hey, this is in your books, hey, that's in your books. I've been asking you a direct question about how to deal with the clear-cut statements of the imam that's rejecting being an imam, and you haven't provided an answer for that.
No,
Sayyid Ali,
I provided
there are a lot.
several answers.
Say what?
I provided several answers to you.
How? La, Sayyid Ali, you didn't provide a single answer. You've been quoting your scholars who are saying that Sunnis are not kuffar. طيب, they're not kuffar. Okay,
Yes,
fine.
listen, as I said
That
to you
doesn't change
before,
anything.
as I
That
said to
doesn't
you
change
before,
anything.
as I said to you
That doesn't
before,
change anything.
each person's situation is different. You don't even have to be a Muslim to enter into Jannah, right? You may not
Okay.
necessarily enter into Firdaus.
Okay.
I
Sayyid Ali,
quoted a book. I
Sayyid Ali,
quote
me.
you.
I'm someone who
Okay, so
spent the past 10 years, I'm someone who spent the past 10 years learning about Tashayyur. All
yeah,
right? I
okay.
know your books. Excuse me, but I do know your books better
As
than
well,
you do. All right? Am I going to hell? Am I going to hell? Because I've come across reports, mutawatir reports according to your standards, that the Imam says I'm not an Imam.
yeah, that's fine.
So that's what I
So
believe. That's
so
what I
here,
believe. Am I going to hell or not?
okay, so
Am I mustad'af?
yeah,
Am
sure.
I mustad'af?
Sure. So can I respond to that?
Please tell me, am I
Yeah.
mustad'af or not?
Sure. So each situation and circumstances is different, right? If a person is sincere, if they're sincere and they genuinely do not see the evidence, then of course their case is with Allah, right? But if a person intentionally denies the evidence, right, that's a whole different subject matter.
Okay. The thing is, Sayyid Ali, the issue is you cannot place the hujjah upon anyone.
Okay,
The
can I ask
hujjah
you a
cannot be
question? Because
placed
you asked me
upon
many
anyone.
questions. Let me ask you a question.
The
Habibi,
hujjah. Let me finish. Let me finish.
Baba, let me
The
ask you a question.
hujjah,
Now, you asked me
the
many
hujjah,
questions for the last half an hour, 40 minutes.
the hujjah cannot be placed upon anyone. And the
Let me ask
reason why
you,
the hujjah
brother, let me
cannot be
ask you a
placed.
question
Let
now.
me finish. Let me finish. The reason why the hujjah cannot be placed upon anyone is because the imam himself denied being an imam. That's it. Is that clear? Do you not find that problematic?
All right, can I ask my question?
Sayyid Ali, I'm almost done. Just be a bit
Go,
patient.
go,
The
go.
Imam said, and the reports from Al-Radha and Ja'far al-Sadiq, if I'm not mistaken, which of course makes it mutawatir according to your standards, in Al-Kafi, that the way to find out who the Imam is through al-Nas al-Zahir, the clear Nas. Okay? And what is the clear Nas? It's the clear appointment. Unfortunately, there cannot be a clear appointment when the Imam himself denies being an Imam.
Okay, so I already answered that question. I don't know why you're coming back to the same thing, right? I've already responded. We have to.
How did you answer it?
Do you want me to repeat myself? Shall I repeat myself? Are
Please,
you gonna?
allegedly,
Okay, good, good.
please
So
provide the
we
response that you've allegedly provided before.
sure. No, I did provide a response. I said, look, if there's a narration which is mutawatir from two or more
Yeah,
narrators, we have to
yeah.
look whether this statement contradicts other statement of theirs, and also what's been narrated from other companions of the Imam. How
Yeah.
many times do I explain it to you, Habibi?
No,
Already.
I understand. I understand, Sayyid Ali. But the thing
Yeah.
is, if
So
something is
let me
mutawatir,
ask you a question now, if you don't.
if something is mutawatir, that is a very important point. What you said is very important. When something is mutawatir, Sayyid Ali, that means it's something that happened without a doubt.
No,
If
no,
you
no,
bring
not
something else,
necessarily. No, it doesn't. It doesn't mean it happened with that.
طيب, Sayyid Ali, then you don't know then you don't know what's
So I
mutawatir
gave
means.
you the.
That's why.
So what if a group?
That's why.
Okay, so listen. So if a group of Christians were to narrate that Jesus died on the cross, you.
Then they saw something like that. They did see a man die on a cross. Okay.
That doesn't really deal with it. So if a group of Christians think that Jesus died on the cross, that's something which is fine and there's evidence.
I do believe, Sayyid Ali, by the way, this is not really a weird, controversial thing, yani, what you're bringing. It's not something that's going to shake the core of our understanding of Christianity. We do believe that Christians saw Jesus die on a cross. We do believe
Yeah,
they
he
saw
did,
that.
and it's mass transmitted at least.
Yeah. No, it's not mass transmitted. It's not mass transmitted. It's
It's
transmitted
attested by a
through
few people.
four anonymous through
Yeah,
four anonymous
there you go.
sources.
There you go.
It's not mutawatir. That's
Anonymous,
just
bro.
Habibi,
Do you know?
that's
Do you
why.
even know that what that means?
Said Ali, four anonymous authors,
Habibi,
none of
people
them being
hate.
eyewitnesses. None of them being eyewitnesses is not mutawatir. Maybe for you, but for most people, it's not.
Well, for
And
Akhi,
that's
for
why
according
Habibi,
to Shia.
when
that's
Jesus,
why
listen, according
that's
to the
why
Christian account, the
yeah.
whole town witnessed Jesus' return. What are you talking
Yeah, Habibi, you don't understand what mutawatir is. If it's one person saying the whole town saw something, doesn't make it mutawatir. If I said to you, I saw a zombie apocalypse, okay, right outside my house, and my whole town saw it. I'm the only person reporting it. It doesnn't make it mutawatir. All right, inshallah, it's clear. That's why you
about?
have people in the
Listen,
DMs DMing the mods saying that
you
you don't
have.
know what mutawatir means, bro. That's
Listen,
the issue.
Habibi, listen, I know very well what narration is. I know what it is. It's
I don't
somebody
think so.
essentially when people witness something and they all agreed upon something and it doesn't mean it's a lie, right? This is what actually mutawattir is. The whole thing
Yeah,
is
but if it's
entirely
coming from
listen,
one
the whole thing
source,
the
if it's
hadith
coming from one
listen,
source, it doesn't make it mutawatir.
listen, you say you have no issues accepting mutawatir. Sheikh
Yeah,
Qur'ani wrote an entire book about mutawatir reports of the 12 Imams. So are you gonna accept that? No, you're not. So please stop waffling, right? And you're moving here and there. Stick to the issue. Would you accept Shia Mutawatir reports? Yes or no?
yes.
So that's it. Then the 12 hadith of the 12 Imams is Mutawatir according to Shias. Maybe game over. Let me ask you a question.
La la la. Now you said this to me. Now I have to respond to you. May I? Had Said Ali.
Of course,
Yeah,
تفضل
go ahead.
تفضل.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Said Ali. You said the hadith of the 12 imams is mutawatir, right?
Yes.
Okay. Which hadith specifically are you speaking about?
I'm talking about an entire book that Sheikh Qur'ani wrote.
Now bring a report. You're speaking about a specific
I don't
report,
need to
right?
bring a report when I'm telling you it's Mutawatir.
Bro, that's not how it works. You can't say this is mutawatir and that's that. Name the report. You're saying a specific report is mutawatir, right?
I'm saying to
Are
you
you
that
referring?
he's a.
Are you referring to the report in which you have um, Al-Jawad narrating from his father all the way to Ali, in which Al-Hassan mentions the names of the 12 imams? Is that the report you're quoting, or what
No,
report are you quoting exactly?
I'm talking about individual reports.
Can you give me an example?
I don't have the book to hand, my brother. As I said to
No,
you,
no,
there's an
no,
entire book
no, no,
written
no,
by
no, no,
Sheikh
no.
Qur'ani
This
on the
should be
12
simple.
Imams, who they are, the
This
names.
This should be very simple. This should be very simple. You said there's a book about a subject of this hadith of the 12 imams, and you said it's mutawatir. I'm asking you, what hadith is this? I want to know which hadith are you talking about.
He quotes all sorts of narrations.
Tayyib, name one. Name one.
Habibi, I don't have them to hand. Like I can't tell you.
No, no, just one. Just one.
I don't.
You've read the
I
whole
don't
book.
want
You've read the
to.
book, right?
I
Have you
don't
read the
want to.
book?
I don't want to misquote the Imams. I don't want to say anything.
بالمعنى in the same meaning. يعني, I want to have an idea of
We have,
what your report says.
as I said to you, we have attestation through the students of the Imams, right?
Yeah.
Through the students of the Imams of the Ahlul Bayt al-Islam. We have reports from the Imams of the Ahlul Bayt al-Islam. But mutawatir report, I can give you entire books that have
No, no, give me
mutawatir
one.
Shia,
Give me one
you know.
hadith. Don't give me an entire book. Give me one
Yeah.
hadith. I want to know what
I mean,
report you're referring. Two is it's mutawatir.
There's mutawatir reports on I don't know, for
And bring
example,
one. That's what you've been asked, Bayat. Do you not understand? You say we're not asking to bring us a whole book. Just one hadith. Tell us what the hadith is. If you don't know per se, just paraphrase it, and Akhi Farid will know what hadith you're talking about. That's all we're saying. Bring us this one
so
mutawatir hadith
so
you're saying.
okay, so you're talking about generally any mutawatir narration, or you talking about a particular
You
mutawatir?
said that you have a hadith about the imams being 12, and that's mutawatir in
Yeah,
your
Habibi,
books,
this isn't
right?
even mutawatir according to, well, I don't know if it's mutawatir according to your books, but at least, yeah, you
No,
do
it's
have
it's
some.
one narrator. It's one narrator. It's not mutawatir, and
Is it
it's
from
not
Samir
imams. It's
ibn, is it from Jund,
Jabr bin Samura. Jabr bin
Jabr
Samura.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, so that's not
Yeah.
mutawatir according to you. No
No,
problem.
no,
That's fine.
it's one narrator. It's half the conditions for a mutawatir hadith according to you.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
yeah, carry on.
of course. Yeah, half the conditions, no problem. You can build a whole Akida based on an isolated report as well. You should know.
طيب طيب. Carry on. Where's the
Anyway,
hadith?
so which mutawatir report are you looking for?
I don't know, Akhi. You mentioned it. You mentioned that you have
Well,
mutawatir reports
you
about the
said
imams being 12,
you said
and
you
this is
accept you say you accept any Shia hadith which is mutawatir.
yes.
So I told you we have mutawatir reports that Abu Bakr and Umar were essentially condemned and the fuel of hellfire. So,
Can you give me an example of hadith that says that?
bro, I'm just telling you, Sheikh Amli.
No. You can't just say it. You have to give examples, Bayat. The whole idea is Farid said he believe in the hadith is mutawatir. He said, okay, we got mutawatir hadith, and then he asks you, okay, bring it, and now you're saying, Habibi, we have it. That doesn't work like that. But in
No,
logic, you have to.
I'm trying to explain to you that look,
It doesn't matter what
Farid.
you explain. First, bring the
Listen,
hadith, and we'll see whether it's mutawatir or not.
I don't think you guys are getting my point. I'm trying to explain to you that just because a hadith is mutawatir in our books, Farid is not going to accept it. Just like I don't accept his mutawatir.
I've already said I will. I've already said I will accept a mutawatir hadith. It doesn't matter where it is. All right. So would you mind providing a hadith that's going to shake my faith because it's mutawatir according to you?
Okay, if you bear with me, I'll get you some mass
Baya, if you want
translate.
to take like a minute or two, we can no problem. I know you said you're on your phone or whatnot. Take like a minute or two, find us this mutawatir hadith, and then we will go on from there. I think Farid Akhi does I think perfectly fine, right? While he looks for this.
I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah, perfect. Yes, Baya, take your time. We are all eagerly waiting for this mutawatir hadith.
In the meantime, Farid, I'm getting people messaging me. They're asking for the references for the hadith you mentioned of the imams denying the imama.
Oh yeah. Okay, I'll let me get that out for you as well, inshallah. That's in al-Kafi. That's in al-Kafi. The chapter on. Let me see. So now, alhamdulillah, yeah, me and Sayyid Ali were both doing homework.
Let's see which of you boys will be the good boy and which is going to be the naughty boy.
Haha.
You know, it's very good while you guys are looking. These kind of discussions is what we've been looking for. You know, somewhere where one-to-one dialogue, respectful. You know, without need to shout at each other or talk past each other, or whatnot. These are the discussions we look for. So I appreciate Bea for once actually hanging around long enough to have a dialogue with us.
No. Last time he came as well, it was a nice discussion.
Oh, was it?
Sorry
Okay.
about
I think it's only
yeah.
Farid then. He just doesn't like me or something. I don't know.
He
Maybe it's
likes me.
Saifullah.
He likes me because we go way back.
Ah, so you have to know him from time ago, is
Yeah,
it?
like Modine and John Cena, I guess.
Aywa.
He will like you too, Anas. Don't worry, he will like
They're
you too.
comparing you to Modine, bro.
Yeah, it's maybe I need to see his real face for him to like me. I think I was in Speaker's Corner once, and I think I caught a glimpse of him or one of the crews from that Rafidi channel or whatever they call it, or Bayatul channel or whatever. I have no idea what the channel is.
You know what the Quran says? ادفع بالتي هي أحسن فإذا الذي بينك وبينه عداوة كأنه ولي حميم.
ما شاء الله.
الله أكبر، ما شاء الله برادر محمد، جزاك الله خير.
Yeah, so I've got a transmitted report for you, Farid, if you want one.
Yeah, go ahead. What's this mass transmitted report?
Yeah, so this mass transmitted report, ironically, is similar to a discussion that you brought up. It's related to the discussion that you brought up previously before. It's from Sayyid ibn Tus, and Sayyid ibn Tus mentions
Who's this?
Ibn
Who's
Tus,
this?
Sayyid Ibn.
Ibn Tawus.
Yeah, Ibn Taus, apologies. Ibn
Okay,
Taus,
okay.
right?
Yeah, yeah.
He says the scholars had authored numerous books of hadith on the day of Ghadir, right?
Okay,
And his
okay.
Imam Ali alayhi salam's incident in wars, and in recording exceptional merits and virtues of him, and
Yeah.
attesting what we've mentioned. Among those who wrote books containing the details of what we've discussed, he mentions the scholars who have. Then he carries on and he says,
Can you bring one mutawatir hadith, Sayyid Ali?
Habibi, I'm
Just
just
one.
giving you, I just told you the whole incident of Ghadir itself is something which is mass transmitted for us.
We agree.
How,
Well, I agree. I agree. You didn't know? You didn't know I agreed? You don't know I believe in Ghadir?
no, but your understanding of Ghadir and our understanding is totally different.
So?
Just for my
It's not about
understanding,
understanding.
So you accept the Shia understanding
Wait,
of Ghadir.
I swear, sorry, Farid Akhi, was it not for, is there any mutawatir hadith you were saying, or was it for the Imam?
wasn't اعتباطي 12.
Hadith al-Ghadir is mutawatir according to us. Yani we have multiple reports from several companions that all attest
You
that
don't have any
Ghadir actually happened.
report of what actually happened, the details on that, by the way. So you could
Yeah,
say it's mass
so the detail.
transmitted.
So can you provide an example of something that happened in Bayat al-Ghadir that I'm going to find problematic, that is mutawatir according to you?
Sorry, say that
So
again.
are you going to...
Are you saying a particular report, a Shia report that's mutawatir that you have a problem with?
I said, yeah, that's what I've been asking you the whole time. Yeah, that's what I've been asking you for
Yeah.
the whole
So
time, bro.
I already said to you before that Sheikh Hur Amli, right, in one of his works. Like, if
Say
you
I
just
don't
give
have
me
anything, bro. Bro, just say I don't have anything, ya akhi. Khalas.
no. What do you mean? Why am I going to say that there's? So why don't we have a debate on what's mass transmitted in our books? How about that? As I said to you, you only have about 300
Bro,
narrations which are mass transmitted.
you spent like the last 10 minutes saying we have something. I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you a Shia report that's mutawatir, and you just said you don't mind that you're going to accept Shia reports that are mutawatir. طيب يا أخي, I'm asking you for it. Yalla, give it.
Each subject, right? Each particular subject would require me to bring up those reports
لا لا
to
لا,
show you
one
that's mass
hadith,
transmitted.
one hadith. يا أخي, one hadith.
So you according to you, you would accept
Yeah.
any Shia mass transmitted narration, you won't have a problem with it, right?
Yes.
Okay, so then you, according to your own acknowledgement earlier, you said, according to Shia hadith, it's mass transmitted that anyone who does not believe in the walaya of the Imams is in hellfire. So you shouldn't have a problem with that.
One more time.
According to
One more time.
you,
Yeah.
let's be clear, guys.
Yeah.
Everyone has witnessed
Yes.
this. Everyone's heard this. You've
Yes.
said earlier that it's been
Yeah.
mass transmitted in our books that
Yeah.
anyone who denies the walaya of the Imams alayhi salam,
Yes.
he will go to hellfire.
Yes.
Here, just now, a second ago, you acknowledged and you accepted that you don't have no issues with any Shia hadith which is mass transmitted. And how will it be a
Yes.
problem for me? How will it be a problem for my belief?
Because
Right?
Sayyid Ali.
So I
Because Sayyid
gave
Ali.
you. Let me finish. Let me
Have this
finish.
one. Yeah. Please.
Let me finish. So that means,
Yeah.
based on your own admission,
Yeah.
admission, you shouldn't have a problem with this then, because it's mass transmitted in our book.
Okay. So my response is, yes, Sayyid Ali. It's not mutawatir according to my conditions, and it's
So
mutawatir according to your conditions.
so hold on, wait one
It's
second.
yes.
So why did
Yeah.
you say that it's mutawatir then? You just mentioned
It's
earlier
mutawatir according
that
to you,
it's
akhi,
something
because
which.
you
So
said
what's
two
your condition?
narrators.
What's your condition? What's your condition of mutawatir then? You said
My
it's not
condition. My
authentic according to
condition.
your.
My condition is that the number of narrators is high enough that it's impossible for the narrators to have corroborated a lie. They've come together to create a lie.
Okay, so
To
show me a
you,
Shia mass transmitted report that says opposite to what you've just suggested now.
huh?
Let me repeat myself, okay? So let's
Yeah.
take this step by step. You
Okay.
quoted Sheikh Saduq's book. You quoted some narrations from there. You said very clearly that these reports are mass transmitted, in which essentially it condemns
According to
all
you.
those people
According to you, by the way, not according
according
to
to
me.
those
According to you.
reports. No,
Yeah.
that's fine. No problem.
Sayyid Ali,
According
by
to
the way,
those reports.
I want to
Let me
mention
finish my
something.
point. Just
I've mentioned.
Habibi, look at your logic. Look at your logic. Just think about
Now
what you just said to me.
the
And
reason why I'm correcting you. The reason why
don't retract what you said.
I'm not
Don't retract what you
retracting.
said.
I'm not retracting
Okay, good.
anything.
Stick to it. Stick to
Let me
this.
explain.
You
Let me
listen
explain
to
where
me.
you're messing. Let me explain where you're messing up.
Let me finish.
Let me explain where you're messing up. Let me explain where you're messing up.
Baya, chill, man. Chill. Like,
Bro, I want to explain where you're
it's like a nanny
misunderstanding.
every time has to come in and like
no,
coddle him a
because
bit.
we're gonna drift away from what the point Farid made. Farid made a point. Farid made a point.
Baya, relax, chill, man. Have a coffee, man, or tea, whatever you like that cools
Listen,
you down. Just chill.
why are you always telling me to relax? Why don't you ever tell Farid to relax? You keep
But
interrupting me.
listen, Baya.
Farid
I've been
shot
getting DMs
himself
from
in
Shia.
listen, Farid shot himself in the foot. Very
Baya. I've been getting like DMs from Shia that say you keep
yeah, okay,
interrupting.
sure you do. Yeah, I get DM from
What?
Sunnis all the time and tell me how you guys don't represent
You
them.
know what?
Okay, so don't give me
إخوة
about what's mentioned in DMs and
Bayat,
stuff, right? You keep your DMs.
please,
Anyway,
Yeah,
Bayat,
so
Farid,
Farid,
I'm getting
no,
DM
just one
no,
from
second.
no.
Sunnis
Muhammad, akhi, please
all the
just
time.
come in. Anyway, listen, let Farid come in
Anyway,
and then you can
Farid
come in.
shouldn't have a problem with accepting mass transmitted reports according to his own statement. Okay.
Yep. Now, may I briefly say it?
Yeah,
The
and
thing is,
please
every
show
single
me a mass
time,
transmitted report
Oh
that
my
says that.
days, this guy with his
every
Tourette's,
single
man.
time, Sayyid Ali,
Do
every
you know
single
what Tourette's
time
are,
I
Saifullah?
quote it.
No, I don't.
Guys,
But
Yeah,
who
so
cares?
can you take your fingers out your nostrils because it sounds as if you're holding your nose?
All right, sure. Cool.
Okay, yeah,
So
sure.
let
So
Farid come
it's
in.
not nice to be spoken to like that, is
Yeah,
it? Yeah, I
but
thought
listen,
so. All right.
yeah, cool, whatever.
Okay, because you
Farid
got a
can come
squeaky
in.
voice, so yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So does that sound good to you? Is that how
Yeah,
you want to speak? Look, it's not difficult to
It
speak like that. You do
it doesn't
realize that,
actually
right?
hurt me. It doesn't hurt me. You know
That's
that.
good. I'm not. My intentions are not to hurt you anyway, right? So I'm just trying to give you a taste for your. So anyway,
Sure.
to Farid's
may I,
point. Farid said that
guys,
he doesn't have
Oh my
may I,
issues.
days.
may,
This is when I have to start muting you, but if you're gonna keep doing this, go on.
I'll be brief. Say, Daddy, I'll be brief. I'm just going to point something out, and it's something you may have missed out on. Every time I quote these reports for you, I say this is mutawatir according to your standards because you said two narrators, that's sufficient. Okay? That's not
No,
mutawatir
you're
according to me.
misquoting me. Why are you not listening to what I've said to you? I've told you before. If two or more people narrated something, so as
Yeah?
long as there's nothing in contradiction to that, right? So as long as there's nothing in contradiction to that, I don't have no issue in accepting it, right? I don't have no issues accepting it.
This is a
You've
new,
said to
this,
me,
you,
my brother,
طيب,
you said to me, you don't have
yeah.
issues accepting any Shia mass transmitted report. You even read narrations from Shia books, which you suggested, according to Shia standards, is mass transmitted. And that is
No,
anyone
I
who
said they're
denies the
masters according
walaya
to you.
of the
I
Ahlul
said,
Bayt, it will be the fuel of hellfire, right?
I said,
Essentially, it will be the
I
fuel of
said they're
hellfire.
mass transmitted according to you. According to you.
Okay,
Okay?
that's fine, according to me. So
This
I
is not my
explained to you
belief.
already. I said,
It's
if
not my
there's
belief. It's
something
not my belief.
which
It's
is
not my
narrated
belief.
for more
It's
than
not,
one person, right? If there's
yeah.
something narrated for more than one person, so as long as there's not something in opposition to what they've previously mentioned, right? I have no issues accepting this. Now, these reports, which are mass
So,
transmitted, so these
hey,
reports, which you read, you said there's so many, it's on this page, it's on this page, it's on this
yeah,
page. You
yeah,
said you have no issues in accepting
yeah.
Shia mass transmitted reports, right?
Okay.
So there you
Let me
go.
explain
According to
why.
your own
Let me explain.
admission, you've
Let me
answered your
explain
own
why.
question.
Let me explain why. Let me explain why it's not mass transmitted according to me. Those specific reports that I've quoted, for example, the reports about al-Mustada'af. Okay, it's because Sayyid Ali, you do not have enough primary sources for there to ever be a mutawatir report.
What do you mean?
Is that clear?
What do you mean you don't have enough primary sources for something to be
You do not
mutawatir?
have. Sayyid Ali, if you say, Farid, can you provide me the hadith that says "Man kadhaba alayya muta'ammidan," right? Which Sunni sources have it? I would name like 50. Okay. When I ask you for the source of a report, the sources that will include asanid are like they all go back to 3 or 4 authors. You do realize that, right? You lack the variety of primary sources. Even one of your main primary sources, At-Tusi, is quoting Al-Kulayni half the time. So that's not even considered to be an independent
No, I
source.
think I think you lied here, Farid. And to be honest with you, again, I would be happy to debate this issue as
Did
well.
you just
Because
say I lied?
this is
Did you
not
just say I
this is not
lied?
the case. This is not
Did
the
you just say
case.
that?
You're lying
طيب
upon us scholars. You're lying upon us
how,
scholars.
name
And by
سيد
the
علي
way,
سيد
even
علي سيد
and
علي لا
listen,
لا لا لا
and by
لا
the
لا
way,
لا لا لا
and by
لا
the
لا لا
way,
لا 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 لا
and
لا
by
No,
the
no,
لا
no,
you
way,
no,
accuse
no.
me
We're
of
not gonna
lying
let you escape.
can
No,
I
no, no,
finish?
no.
you accuse me of
You
lying
Can I finish?
you
لا لا
accuse
لا
you
لا لا لا
accuse.
لا لا
No,
لا لا
no, no.
when you accuse me of lying this is something else okay سيد علي name right now name 5 scholars from the طبقة of Al-Kulayni okay that have books
Intensive Google searching.
No, actually, I'm not going to Google search. As I would say on that, Allahu Alim, there's no issues with saying
ما
that.
في
Even the Prophet.
لا لا you don't
Yeah,
have
so
لا because you don't
I would,
have
I would, I would need to check this, right? So, okay, so let's take this step by step. What Fried's basically said. He said that this report, the reason why he does not accept it, is because according to his own
لا
admission,
لا شوف.
right?
Now you
According
need
to
to
his own
apologize.
admission,
لا لا شوف
this
you have
is
to apologize. If you want to carry this on, you have to apologize because you just accused me of lying. And when I responded to you, you're like, Wallahu a'lam. You have to apologize if you want to carry this on.
no, no, okay, no, okay, I apologize if what I said was untrue, okay, but if the case is somewhat different, then yeah, then wallah, then you're lying, isn't it? What else is there to say about it?
This is like the most non-apology apology I've ever seen.
No, no,
This man,
no,
this
Habibi,
was
listen. I'm glad I make you guys laugh. Alhamdulillah, that's good, that's good.
Allah fuck you.
So
alhamdulillah.
Yeah, no
coming
problem.
coming back to what Farid is saying. So based
Yeah.
on Farid's own admission, now he's saying the reason why he doesn't accept these reports is basically it doesn't meet to that criteria of what he considers right as being
Of anyone,
uh,
of what anyone
of being a
considers to be
mutawatir.
mutawatir.
So
Of what anyone.
Alhamdulillah, at least we admit one thing then. It's not necessary. It's not necessary to not believe in the walaya of the Ahlul Bayt and enter into Jannah. SubhanAllah, thank you for basically coming back to the very start point which I made at the beginning.
Sayyid Ali, the thing is, what I've
So
been
why were
using
you
against
trying
you the
to
whole
deceive?
time.
Why were you trying
What,
to
Bayat, oh
deceive the
what
my,
group? For the last
Bayat,
45
stop,
minutes,
calm down,
for the
calm down.
last 45
what
Chill,
I've
minutes,
been
you've been going
chill,
here and
chill,
there and here
chill,
and there.
chill.
what I've
But
been using against you the
So this
whole
is the
time. What
reason
I've been using against you
why.
the
oh
whole
my,
This is the
time.
same
oh
reason
my
why.
days, the guy can't keep quiet for 2 seconds. Like,
Okay,
What
dude,
I've
so
been
calm down,
so
bro. I know it's frustrating being like you. Yeah, I understand. Like,
frustrating
waking up,
being,
but
dude.
just
If I
chill.
sound like you, I wouldn't even bother speaking. You
Yeah,
should just
chill.
wish to chatting.
Alhamdulillah.
Yeah,
Thank you,
frustrating
thank
being
you.
like you.
Okay. Yeah,
Frustrating
sure,
being like
sure,
you.
sure. Yeah, sure,
what
sure,
I've
sure.
been
Mate,
using. Said Ali.
every time you try to be
Said,
sly little witty
Sure.
remarks like that, I'll give you necessary
Hey,
nonsense.
listen,
Bro.
okay, sure. Calm down,
Said
calm
Ali.
down. Take a
What I
breath. Take a
Yeah,
breath.
have some coffee, chill, have a Kit Kat, relax.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm having
So
it,
thank
bro.
you,
I'm having a
Farid.
nice tea and biscuit. Join me in it.
Alhamdulillah, that's good. Have some dates. Have 7 dates. So you might not get agitated. But
Mashallah.
anyway,
Mashallah. I
Farid,
will do.
mashallah, Farid, thank
so
you for
let me finish, man.
acknowledging
No,
what I was
Yeah,
trying to
wait.
yeah, let,
explain
let,
to you.
Wait. Farid, go.
what I've been using against you the whole time, Said Ali, was your standards. And let me remind you and let me remind the audience of what led
Habibi,
to
listen,
this.
Trust me,
What
I
led
know my
you?
standards. My
Oh my
standards are far better
days.
than some of the people you're taking your religion from, I can assure
معلش. May I speak for a bit? Because I think it's very important to do a quick recap of what happened. Okay? The reason why, guys, Sayyid Ali said that it only takes 2 narrators for hadith to be mutawatir. By the way, he's adding this condition right now. This condition that, it must not conflict with other reports. The reason why he's saying this is because we had a discussion, when was this? A few days ago, a week ago, wallahu alam, in which Sayyid Ali was arguing that Fatima was killed by Abu Bakr and Umar. Fatima alayhi salam was killed
Sorry,
by Abu
I got a
Bakr
phone,
and
I
Umar
got a phone call.
alayhim salam.
I got a phone
Okay?
call. You cut out, so I couldn't hear anything you said there. So you're gonna have to. I just want to know one thing, Farid. Why were
لا
you
لا
trying
لا
to
لا لا
convince
لا
the
لا لا
entire
لا I finished.
Farid?
ما في. Let me finish. You don't get it.
No,
You don't get a phone call. You don't get a phone call and you jump back on and interrupt me. Let me
no,
finish
no,
now.
no,
Okay?
because I didn't finish my point. I want to know
No, no, it was
why did
Farid's
you
time. But
convince?
okay, sorry,
I'm,
it's it's time
I'm
because
speaking now.
we try to treat you like an adult, but you guess you need to be treated like a kid. So I'm gonna mute you the second you
Listen,
unmute
how can you
yourself.
talk about what kids and adults are when
Yep, Farid, go ahead, Akhi, because this guy he
you
can't
talk
seem
about
to have a.
adults? Who are you to talk about adults?
Okay,
All
okay,
right,
look, look,
go
look,
on.
Anas, I think مو كجعلي هذه اصبر يا.
So,
Beya,
حديجة
one
انا
second,
وقفنا
Akhi,
يعني
Akhi,
why was
امر
I
حاول
just want to
Beya,
ask
please, one
Farid
second.
one
نحن
question.
no,
I
no,
want
you're
to
not
ask
asking
Farid
any
one
No,
questions.
question.
I'm speaking, man.
You're not asking any questions until Farid finishes his point. I've had enough of your little interruption. Go ahead, Akhi Farid. But just keep yourself on mute until Farid finishes. And then you can come in, no problem, with whatever questions you have. Farid, go ahead, Akhi.
Okay, so Jazakallah khairan. So the reason why this whole tawatur of two narrators thing came into existence is because last time I spoke to Sayyid Ali, we had a discussion on whether Fatima alayhi salam was killed by Abu Bakr and Umar alayhim salam. Okay, and the issue is that Sayyid Ali knew that there's not a single authentic report about this issue. The best thing he could bring was a report that said that Fatima is a shahida, in which I responded by saying,
Why don't
"Well,
you change the topic? I want to know why you
that's
tried
not
to
enough."
mislead the clubhouse group by suggesting that Shias believe, right?
May say what? Say what?
I said I want to know why you try to mislead the people in clubhouse into believing that Sunnis who deny Walaya are going to go to hell, when according to your own admission, you yourself said this is something which is not mass transmitted.
I was in the middle of speaking, bro. I was in the middle of saying
Yeah, but
something,
I know
and
you're
since
going
you
to
asked
ignore
me,
that question and point out.
no. I've actually dealt with it because I've mentioned these are
No,
your
you haven't, my
conditions,
brother.
and
No, you haven't.
you've denied that these are your conditions. You've denied that these are your conditions, but now I need to explain why these are your conditions and how you're trying to twist these conditions. Excuse me. You're trying to tilt these conditions to make them seem more reasonable. So this started a few days ago, and please say that. Let me finish, bro. Let me finish this one. I let you do a whole audio book from Murtada al-Mutahhari without cutting you off. All right, it's my turn right now. Spoke about Fatima and Fatima being killed and whatnot. I'm going to jump straight to it. You realize that there's an issue, and that's why you said it's mutawatir. Fatima being killed by Abu Bakr and Umar is mutawatir. I responded by saying, Sayyid Ali, if it's mutawatir, then what's mutawatir to you? How many narrators do we need to have for a hadith to be mutawatir? How many narrators on a single tabaqa? All right. So what scholars would usually say is something like 10. All right. What I had in mind was Sayyid Ali is going to definitely go something lower. He's not going to say something like 10 because he doesn't have enough primary sources for him to say 10. So I said, well, Sayyid Ali, for me, tawatur is probably 6. For you, maybe it's 5. And by the way, even if Sayyid Ali said 5, he'd still have trouble. But then I was absolutely astounded, surprised when Sayyid Ali said 2. 2. And I was shocked, and I was like, "How? What do you mean 2?" And he said that tawatur to him
Can
is
you
2, as
allow
long
me
as two
to
people,
explain myself?
Let him finish.
as long
Let
as
him
two
finish.
people, as long as two people are narrating a hadith, it's mass transmitted. And then Full Metal Theist got annoyed. He jumped on the mic and he said, by definition, the term mass transmitted can't be referring to two people. If you go back to Arabic works of mustalah, the term mutawatir says that the number has to be so large that that it's impossible for the people to have come together to fabricate a lie. All right. Now, guys, I'm going to put this question out there. I'm asking this to the audience. Can two people physically come together and agree upon a lie? Well, obviously, it happens all the time. If that is the case, then how can 2 be enough for a hadith to be mutawatir? So the issue is Sayyid Ali doesn't know the definition of
No,
the
no, you,
mutawatir hadith.
Farid,
He
Farid,
doesn't know
Farid.
the
Listen,
definition
you
of
misrepresenting
mutawatir
me.
hadith.
You misrepresenting me. You're
Baya,
misrepresenting me.
Today he came and he said, guys, a mutawatir hadith is two as long as nothing conflicts with that report. That's where he is right now. He's changed it slightly. And by the way, even this no
No,
one
I
says
didn't
this.
change it slightly. No, no, I didn't change
That
anything slightly.
did you say this last time? Did you say it last time?
No, what I
As
said
long
to
as it doesn't
you,
conflict
you
with him?
said to me, what do you define as mass transmitted? I said, if one or more person narrates something, just say two, right? For me, it increases the confidence of that particular event occurring. So 2, 3, 4, 5, and even then, there's
No.
even.
You said two is
Are you
mass
going to cut me
transmitted.
out now? Are you
You
going to let
said
me
two
speak?
is
I
because
listened to you for a few minutes. Let me respond.
you said two is mass transmitted last time. You said two is mass
So
transmitted.
I said if one or more people, right, narrate something, it increases the chances of that event happening. But even then, it's subjective, necessarily mean it occurred.
I'll ask you a very direct question. Did you last time? Did you say this? Yes or no? Did you say two is mass transmitted? Yes or no?
You asked, according to me, what do you consider as mass
Yes.
transmission?
Yes.
Correct.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So I said, if two or more people narrate something,
Yes.
according to me,
Yes.
not my scholars, right? Not my
Yes.
scholars,
Okay.
it would be enough to determine something which is attested more than one person.
Let me repeat myself because you're answering with a different answer. So I have to be direct and you have to be direct. I asked you last time, how many, according to you, is mass transmitted? You said two. Yes or no?
Yeah, that's right.
Thank you. Thank you. Jazakallah khairan. Okay.
Is that your point?
I have nothing to add. I have nothing to add. Thank you.
All right, that's fine. Can I ask you a question now?
Yeah, go ahead. Unless we're going to go into another topic that's going to
No.
take another hour of
It's.
my
Do
time.
do you believe the Caliph of Abu Bakr and Umar was attested through multiple people?
Attested through multiple people?
Yeah, as
What do
in
you
the
mean attested
ijma.
through
Do you
multiple people?
believe the Caliph of Abu Bakr was based on ijma?
No, I believe that Sa'ad bin Ubadah didn't want to give it, but eventually the companions, Ahl al-Hal wal-Aqd, they all did give it.
So
There's
it's
that.
that's fine. That's fine. At least you're honest on that. But so if somebody denies the Caliphate of Abu Bakr and Umar, why did some of your ulama
Historic,
deem them? Sorry?
historically?
No. I'm just talking about the statements of the scholars.
Yeah, but I mean historically, denying it historically? Do you get the question?
He means denying that it happened.
Denying that there was an agreement on his caliphate. As in Sunni
I think
ulama, they've given statements, right? They've given fatwas. Anyone who denies the caliphate of Abu Bakr and Umar,
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
considered disbelievers, right?
Do you mean
So
historically? Do you mean historically?
so this, no, I don't know. This is why I'm asking you. Your explanation of your scholars, is that based on
So
historically, or
I don't even know what you're quoting. I don't even know whose opinion you're quoting.
okay?
So
So
the issue
let me.
with so
I'll read you
the
the
issue
statements. I'll read you the statements then. Yeah, like, give me
read
1 second. I'll read you the statement.
read one statement. Read one statement. But I need to explain something about historically.
Okay, so
The issue is
so Al
let,
Dhahabi. Okay,
let me
can I
finish. Let me
mention it
finish.
now? Yeah? You
Let
want
me
me to
finish.
read?
right because he was talking while you were looking for it. So Bayat, just let him finish his
Just one
sentence and
second.
then you can read your reference, man.
The issue
Serious.
with historically, if you're going to deny that Abu Bakr and Umar were khulafa historically, it's just stupid. It's not. I don't think anyone has ever said this is kufr or anything like that. It's just stupid. It's like saying,
Imam of guidance.
Did Alexander
Habibi,
rule?
Habibi,
Yeah.
I agree with you. I agree with you. I agree with you. There's no doubt about
Okay.
that. I'm talking about in the sense that they're the imams of guidance.
Okay.
So that's what I'm talking about. So that's why I was going to read you the statements of the scholars.
طيب. So read one statement.
Okay, yeah. So for example, we have Al-Dhahabi, who quotes Muhammad ibn Sahil saying that he heard Ibn Jarir al-Tabari saying, whoever says that Abu Bakr and Umar are not two imams of guidance, he should be killed.
Okay.
What do you think about that? What's the evidence for saying this?
First of all, I'd need to look at the chain because I'm not familiar with who Muhammad bin Sahel is in the first place. Do you know who
Okay.
Muhammad bin Sahel is?
No.
Okay, so why should I care?
Okay, that's fine. You can look into that whenever you want to. So let me give you a statement of another scholar then.
You can look into it too.
Okay, so let me give you a statement of another scholar. Ibn Hajar al-Haythami.
Sayyid Ali, the issue is I've already answered this during our discussion. It doesn't really matter to me.
No, you didn't.
Um,
You digressed. You started off by suggesting Shias believe anyone who denies the wilayah of the Imams of the Ahl Bayt Islam will go to hell. Then
لا
according to
اوكي
your own
طيب
admission,
لا 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 سيد علي it's fine
45 minutes later,
سيد علي
45
it's
minutes
fine
later,
it's fine
so
it's fine
45
it's
minutes,
fine
no, it's fine. No, I know it's fine. 45
no
minutes
no
later, you did a complete U-turn and said, well, I don't
I didn't
accept this anyway.
I never
So
did a U-turn. I never did a U-turn because here's the thing. These reports are one authentic, okay? They're authentic. So anything a scholar says is يعني doesn't mean anything. Okay? Doesn't matter what any Shia scholar says as long as the
your
Imam said.
entire science,
Okay? No, 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 no. So the thing is, Sayyid Ali, you cannot say a scholar says this and this has more weight than the opinion of Imam. If Imam says something, that's the final word. The reason why I was mentioning this is mutawatir, this is mutawatir, this is mutawatir, I always say according to you,
how can you,
not according to
how,
me, not according to me, not according to
how can,
ulama.
why,
I don't know what your ulama believe
you
in,
say,
but according to
so,
you, they're mutawatir.
no, so you're quoting ulama when it suits you. When it goes against you, you're saying, well, it doesn't matter. This is the ulama saying it. Your whole entire
Which scholar did
science.
I quote today? Which scholar did I quote
Sorry?
today?
Which scholars you quote today?
Yeah. I'm just quoting your Amma, bro. I'm just quoting your
No, no.
infallible Imams, bro.
No, you quoted Sheikh Suduk. You misrepresent Sheikh Suduk's opinion,
He's quoting
right?
the Imam. He's quoting the Imam, bro.
Habibi, just because somebody quotes the Imam in a tradition doesn't mean that they believe it themselves. I showed you that when he had an entire chapter on this issue. That just because
Again,
somebody is considered
again,
a
I have to repeat
non-Shia
myself.
Mukhalif, he's not.
Again, I have to repeat myself. This is about kufr, okay, and this is about mustad'af. And he says, yes, there are people that not every mukhalif is a nasibi, not every mukhalif is
Exactly.
going to go to the nar,
Exactly.
okay,
Exactly.
because there are
Exactly.
mustad'afin. There are mustad'afin. Yes, I agree there are mustad'afin. And then I mentioned to you that mustad'afin, according to the imam, is like someone with like a mental defect. It's not the average person. I'm me, Farid. I'm not a mustad'af. I'm going to go to hell. I'm going to go to hell
You know
because I
what?
did not accept
I
all
need
12
to
imams.
I need to come back. I just need to do something for a colleague. So give me 5-10 minutes. I'll come back.
I'm done, Sayyid Ali. There's nothing more for me to add.
No, I'm
Yalla.
not done, but I'll come back.
All right. Hope you guys enjoyed the show.
Yeah, it's beside the usual temper tantrum from Bayat, where he can't keep his mouth shut when people are talking. It was an interesting discussion. I see a lot of. I think my comments of me saying that some Shia told me that this guy keeps interrupting has ticked off the other Shia because I keep getting DMs of my parents being insulted. Keep insulting my parents. You're just giving them ajr. Alhamdulillah. You know, so keep going low. they think I. Oh,
Bro, I would like to say, yeah, and I've also received. I'm going through my DMs right now. I am seeing people complaining about Sayyid Ali not knowing what a mutawatir hadith is.
Oh yeah,
Um,
I want to bring up someone because they told me Asdaq is it? Where is he? Some is apparently someone who knows the books well. I don't see him though. Give me a second.
Yeah, he's
Oh, and
offline
I
as
think
well.
Hadi wanted to come up too.
He's offline, bro. He's offline.
Oh,
He
Shabazz,
probably.
akhi, I can barely hear you.
Sorry about that. The thing is, he's
Akhi.
offline. He follows me, so but he's offline
Oh,
right now.
that's stuck offline.
Yeah.
Wait,
no,
Khalid,
guys,
Akhi,
no,
can
guys,
you
what
read
it
out
is,
the hadith? Because the guy keeps telling me, just read out the
yeah.
method, he's going to find it.
Which one?
The one about the imams denying that they're imams. So
Yeah,
Al-Baqir you mentioned, for example.
it's the hadith in which Al-Baqir is approached by Zaydiyah in Al-Kafi. I'll look it up, inshallah. I think I've received a DM from the brother, so I'm gonna definitely get back to him in regards to that. That's something that's undeniable, yani. In
And
any case,
isn't there like another? I don't know if it's the same hadith. I think Ja'far al-Sadiq that denies the Ma'soom infallibility that these people attribute to him.
I'd need to check because I'm not sure if it's him.
أخي
I'm
Anas,
not sure if
there's a
it's him or
background noise when you open your phone.
السلام عليكم.
Alaikum assalam. Guys, do excuse me? It's Adhan al-Maghrib in the background. I don't know if you guys can hear it, but yeah, I need to bounce.
Okay, inshallah. No problem, أخي.
Yallah, guys. Barakallah fikum. Thank you for your time. And thank you, Sayyid Ali, if you can hear me. And I'll catch you guys later. Assalamu alaikum.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.